Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Every week on Sunday I will be posting a new special effects video for you guys. This week I'm going to be showing you how to create a bullet wound. I'm using 3rd degree silicone compound, and you are going to get 2 different containers when you order this. So it is a mixing compound A and a mixing compound B. You're going to mix them together in equal parts. Just make sure that when you are dipping into the jar, you are not dipping in with a dirty spatula. If you get any of A into jar B, it will solidify the mixture and it's going to ruin the entire jar. I'm going in and just making a basic shape of the bullet wound. So we're doing a circle. It does not have to be a perfect circle, but I'm just going in and creating the circle and then smoothing out the edges. Once this dries up a little bit, I'm going to start building by adding more silicone on top. And if you're definitely interested in trying this product out for yourself, be sure to check the description below for product links to the 3rd degree silicone and all of the other products that I'll be using in this video. So as I'm building up the bullet wound and adding a little bit more silicone on top as it dries, let me give you a little bit of background on my special effects experience. So I'm just using the spatula to build up a little bit more depth into the ridge. And I'm using the end of the spatula that has a point to really carve out that center of the bullet wound. You don't need it to be perfectly smooth. You can use that edge of the spatula to kind of rough up the edges because skin is not going to tear perfectly smooth and you want it to look as realistic as possible. And as you can see, the center of the bullet wound really has no silicone in it. It is just my skin. And I'm just pulling away in the center with the sharp part of the spatula. And then smoothing out all of the edges so it's nice and flush with my skin. So in the past, I've gotten a lot of questions about why I don't use liquid latex. And it is actually because I am severely allergic to latex, so I do pretty much stick to the 3rd degree silicone, and I try to make my own prosthetics do that, and it's just worked out phenomenally for me personally. But I don't use latex because I'm really allergic to it, and I've never really been able to find tutorials on how to work with 3rd degree silicone. And that's why I kind of wanted to start the series for you guys, is for the people who are allergic to latex, they have an alternative for special effects makeup. And while the silicone's drying, I'm just applying a very thin layer of foundation all over my face just to kind of create a base. And then after this, I'm going to be setting it with my translucent powder just so it's nice and set before I start working with the grease paint to create depth into my face. You can skip the step if you want and just start adding the blood right away, or you can go for like a really full glam look. It's really up to you on how you want your finished look to go. Next, I'm going to be dipping into my Ben Nye bruise wheel, and I'm going to be using the bright red shade. I'm applying this into the bullet wound and to the outer edges to create the illusion of inflammation and swelling. I'm gently blending it out with my Morphe blending brush. I don't want it too pigmented. I really want this to look as realistic as possible. I am leaving some spots of skin tone color to highlight the swelling. This is really going to give it that illusion. Also, I was wondering, have you guys ever tried special effects makeup on yourself before? If you have or haven't, please comment down below and let me know. Also, let me know what type of special effects you did or what kind of look you created. I would love to hear all about it. Next, I'm going in with the yellow from my Ben Nye wheel, and I'm just working that into the highlighted skin tone area just to make it look a little bit more inflamed. Next, I'm going to be going in with that really dark blood red color and applying that right into the bullet wound itself And then I'm going to be working it into the inflammation on the outer corners as well. And just like I did before, I'm using my blending brush just to blend it out, and you really do not need a lot of product to make this look. So the Ben Nye bruise wheel, you need as little product as possible. You can see how I'm applying it is just by dotting in where I want the inflammation to be and then blending it right out. And you can see that that is enough product to really work for this look. You do not need to go too much with it. So a little goes a long way. Next, I'm going to be going in with my Ben Nye Death Wheel, and this one is used for, you guessed it, creating a very corpse-like look. So I'm not going to go too heavy with it just because I don't want to look dead, but I do want to look more gaunt and pale. So I'm using that very light peach color mixed with a little bit of the yellow all over my face, and I'm not really trying to do a full coverage application, so I'm just applying it very sheer all over my face. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to be applying that blue into the inner corners of my eyes to really give that gaunt look. These wheels from Ben Nye, I absolutely love them because they are just so blendable and they give such great coverage, and the color payoff is absolutely amazing. They are my favorite special effects color wheels, and I would definitely 10 out of 10 recommend them to anyone interested in getting into special effects makeup. As you can see, I am just applying that light blue to the inner corners and to the tops of my cheeks, and then right into my smile lines as well. You can also apply this to your lips to give your lips that very bluish dead look as well. I'm applying to the temples, anywhere where I feel like I want it to look sunken in and gaunt, that's where I'm going to apply it. I've also applied it into my cheek, right where you would normally do a contour, because you really want that depth and that gaunt death look for this makeup. Like I said before, this makeup is very easy to work with and it's very blendable, so the only applicator you need are your hands. You don't need sponges. You can use sponges if you want, but it is not a necessity. So just blending it out with my fingertips. And in a few moments, I'm going to be dipping into my next color on the same wheel, which is going to be, I believe, the more purpley red tones. And I'm just going to be applying that right into where all of this blue is. So once I'm done with the blue, I'm going to be dipping into the reddish color in the wheel, and I'm going to be using a brush for this one just so I can apply it to my lower lash line, almost like an eyeliner, and this is really going to give that sunken eye look in. And I'm just going to be applying it all over my lids as well. This is also a really great way to make a more of like an ill look. So if you're trying to do like a bubonic plague look or someone who is very, very sick, you can go ahead and use this palette as well, because you can see in the eyes it makes you look like you're physically ill. And just going in with my finger, tapping out any of those brush strokes because we want it to look as natural as possible. And I'm really just trying to follow my natural bone structure to create that sunken in eye socket. And honestly, it's just so much fun to play with makeup, and this look can be taken in so many different directions. You can definitely do like a Disney princess with a bullet wound, or a zombie, or glam, or vintage glam with a bullet wound. This can be taken to so many different places, wherever your imagination really wants it to go. And now for the part that you've all been waiting for, the blood. So I'm going to be using Maron's coagulated blood, and it's a very, very sticky, thick blood, and it comes with an applicator stick that you can just pop right in there. And then I'm going to be using Maron's Squirt Blood, which comes in, I believe, 3 or 4 different shades. I am using the dark red blood. And then I'm going to be using one of my eyeliner brushes just to kind of drag that droplet down. I would not recommend using a good brush because this will end up ruining your good brushes. You can also use a stippling sponge to kind of stipple in blood splatter. You can use a old toothbrush to kind of splatter blood as well, however you want to do it. I really like using these sponges. They're really great. You can buy one large sponge and then just rip off little pieces and it will last you for multiple applications. Well, you guys, thanks for watching. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already and leave a comment below and a like. I'll see you guys next week with another look.